Good morning, everyone. Boy, do I have a treat for you today. We're out here on the farm in the morning. Beautiful morning, a little foggy, but nice light. And I'm going down to an area where I'm going to be showing you my beautiful little fig trees. But right now, look at here. These are hazelnuts. There were no hazelnuts on this land when I came here. We planted about 30. And it's just been a boon to the ecology, especially around the pond. We've attracted wood ducks and all different kinds of creatures that used to be picked off by the eagles. And this right here, this is one of our experiments. You know, we have all that grass on the farm. This is red and white clover that we put down to see if it would crowd out the canary reedgrass, and it's working very well. So this is kind of an experiment. But just before we go to the figs, I want to show you, because in the morning this garden is so glorious. And one thing that happens is all these flowers on the squash open up, and they're just so lovely to look at. And sometimes, if it's not too early, the bumblebees will be here. But look at these flowers. Don't you just love them? Oh, and later on we'll have the most amazing squash. We've got summer squash now. This is winter squash. But let me take you over to where I'm potting up my figs, and I'll be right back. Yes, these are my figs. And they're a beautiful little fig tree that I purchased this spring. They came in the mail as little sticks. I wasn't sure they were going to make it. These came from Baker Creek, and oh my gosh, are they beautiful. Before I get to the figs, because I think it's really important that you hear about them, let me show you what's right behind us today as we're working. This is our smaller hoop house that has all of my basil and pepper plants in it. And they're doing quite well, and I have a little visitor that came to live, my little bee balm, and it brings in the bees into the hoop house, which I love. But this is motherwort. Oh, I'm so happy that it's flourishing. I'm actually not going to harvest this season because I really want to get this colony going, and it's so beautiful, and it's such a wonderful healer for the heart and the body, and for treating anxiety. And I'll do another video on motherwort because boy is it beautiful. And then I've got some really nice little dahlias right here that are keeping me company. And now I'm going to talk about these beautiful fig trees, because I gotta tell you, this is beautiful. So one thing I'm trying to do with our garden, it used to be in the fields and it was taken over by the grass, so it really was a short annual garden where I couldn't keep anything alive out there. When I moved it into the fenced area, I started creating a permaculture garden, trying to understand permaculture. And one of the things that I'm doing is to plant foods that are very nutritious, varied in their nutrition, so that we have a lot of different kinds of foods that will help us thrive, especially Norm and I as we're getting older, but also family members and friends. And figs are just an amazing, amazing plant. This one is called the Chicago Hardy fig, and I had a fig in my hoop house that I had outside, and it almost killed it, and so I realized I didn't have the right kind of fig. But this one is a beautiful, beautiful plant. And indeed, it's hardy. It will live outside. Although what I'm going to be doing today is transplanting it out of these gallon pots into bigger pots so that I can get the roots really large. I'll keep them outside in pots this summer. I'll put them in the hoop house for the winter, and I'm encouraging by the fertilizer I'm using to create good root stock. And then I will plant them along the fence line in our garden as part of our permaculture tree family, which will include figs and cherries. No, maybe not cherries. We've got cherries up there, but plums and hazelnuts, We've got a black elderberry that's from Ireland that I love to make medicine out of, and other kinds of trees and shrubs that I come along that are very going to help us to have a diverse nutrition. And let's see, I wanted to tell you about the nutrients of this fig, because I don't think most people understand what an incredible plant. It originally came from Sicily, and it is considered one of their plants that they try to protect because it's so full of nutrition that even in times of starvation, they were able to live off these figs that they dried. And in Ayurvedic medicine, figs are known as the balancer, and they work as a natural remedy for controlling blood pressure. They treat constipation, digestive issues, and excess vata in the body. The nutrient, they are extremely nutrient dense, even though they're sweet and they have some sugar. You don't want to eat a lot. I can't eat a lot of them, but they're full of iron, calcium, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, and folate. In fact, they're considered the highest mineral and fiber content of all common fruit, and I am just loving them. They also bring a lot of wildlife into the garden, so they bring butterflies and birds and other wildlife, and they provide a shade, and also the root system kind of doesn't go straight down, it also goes out, so it's used for soil stability. In Sicily and in places in the Mediterranean, they'll plant them on hillsides just to create a stability for the hillside. So I want to get into now, as I'm repotting these plants, so you can see what really beautiful plants they are already as far as the root system. I just wanted to give a shout out to Secret Gardens. It's a nursery on the Olympic Peninsula. I have gotten incredible potting soil for my gardens. It had to be clean and nutritious because I didn't want to spread any more grass, and everything I put this soil base that they have into the new beds that I grew, and I don't have any grass this year growing in it. If it starts to come, I can pull it out. It'll be from the seed in the fields. I think you can hear the dogs barking. I hope that's not too much up there. But so let's get started with repotting my beautiful fig trees. So here I am back, and I want to show you these incredible, I have to tell you, Baker Creek Heirlooms, that's where I get a lot of my live plants. They're just so good with customer service. I got this last year, and they came as these little sticks, and it looked like 3 or 4 of them were dead, and they immediately replaced them. And it was during the time where packages through Amazon and shipping, UPS and FedEx and all that were very slow, and a lot of people lost, their live baby chickens they ordered and plants, and Baker Creek replaced them, and they gave me a couple of more. It was just great. And I have to tell you, from that little stick, I just kept it moist. I took it out of the package and I put it in water right away, and they just started growing. And this is a beautiful plant, but I really want a stronger root system on it before I put them in the ground. So what I'm doing, I'm back to my pellet fertilizer that I've coated with azomite, and I put that in the bottom. Because these root guys, they really need food when they're creating a lot of root. The other thing is I have this blend that I use. I get it from the Chimcom farm stand. It has kelp, and it has a lot of other nutrients that are really good for getting root systems and plants and trees going. I'm just going to put that in here. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I am using a different potting mix, one that has kelp in it, and other of our beautiful gifts from the sea that we have here up here on the Olympic Peninsula. And I'm going to put these plants in here, and you can see next year it's just going to be a beautiful plant. Now this plant becomes a little tree. It will go 10 to 12 feet. but it depends on what the conditions are. And where I'm putting it, oh, look at this root. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I get so excited when I see healthy roots. This is beautiful. So where I'm putting it on this fence line, there is grass just on the other side. I'm going to have to do some extra work around it and put down some both ground cloth and keep the grass down. But the other thing I'm going to do is plant a whole maybe 10 feet of red clover, because I am noticing the clover has a root that spreads out into a mat. It very much increases the vitality of the soil by fixing nitrogen, and on these areas where I'm putting trees in, and we're going to be doing that with our hazelnut grove that we planted last year too, because the grass has gotten too much. But look at these trees, and these are just a few months old from being a stick. I love this fig. I hope that you'll love this fig and that you'll contact Baker Creek. I've seen them for sale on Amazon, but I can tell you, ordering trees and plants, I tried, I wouldn't say I paid a lot more than what's being charged on Amazon. I'll just tell you that the customer service is amazing, and I've talked to them about what to feed them, and they're very helpful. And again, a shout out to Baker Creek heirloom seeds, and just loving the morning. Well, that's it for today. I'm Ellen O'Shea. Welcome to Preserving the Harvest on a Shoestring. I hope you got some good ideas today, and do what you can with what you have and where you are. See you later.